Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. So I am here in Roatan, Honduras on this beautiful tiny, well, it's actually not tiny, but this island, and it is so freaking beautiful. It was actually kind of cloudy a little bit this morning, but I want to show you guys what she's looking like now. It's super beautiful. So I had the original plan to film an ASMR video for my main channel here, but my vibe is, it's not vibing right now, and sometimes this happens to me when I do like my outdoor ASMR videos. I'll kind of get to the place and then I'm like, it's just not, I just am not in the right zone, or like there's too much background noise. And because this beach is quite narrow, I'm sitting right beside where the waves are hitting, which could be like pretty relaxing, but then it also could be like a bit too loud to really do some good ASMR. So, and yeah, there's just like surprisingly a lot more people around than I thought there were going to be. And anyways, because it's early in the morning, but I thought instead I am going to just do a little soft-spoken ramble on the beach for you guys for my second channel. So if you don't know, I don't know, maybe you guys are coming here from my main channel, or I'd be so curious to know if you found this channel from just YouTube's algorithm, because that'd be really crazy actually. But I'm backpacking Central America right now. I am 70 days in, actually. So I've been away from home for 70 days, 70. I left January 16th, and I actually booked a flight home. I booked that not that long ago, but I'm going home April 28th, and then, well, I don't get home until the 29th of April because I have a long layover during that, a 16-hour layover. So I'm like, yeah. See, and that's why I was like, maybe I shouldn't do a whisper video here, but there will be other places on this trip where I'm going to do beachy ASMR. So for now, I'm like, let's just chill and ramble, and I'll just yap, because realistically, that's what my videos are a lot of anyways. So yeah, there's a guy looking at me, and you know, one thing that I've really learned, I'm going to pop on some more lipstick. But one thing that I've really learned from doing these outdoor ASMR videos is to just not care what people think, because like honestly, I'm never gonna see that man again. I don't know who he is, and I don't care. So I think everyone needs to think about that, because seriously, I've become a lot more comfortable filming in public and around people now, because I just really don't care that much, because it doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm on day 70 backpacking Central America. So I started on January 16th, and I started in Belize. So I did about 12 days in Belize. And then I did about 40 days in Guatemala. That was kind of, that was intense. Well, it wasn't intense, but that was a long time there. Originally, I was supposed to stay there for less time, but I was doing a Spanish school. And instead of 2 weeks, I did 3 weeks, because originally planned 2 weeks. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to stay. So yeah, 40 days in Guatemala. Then I did about, how many days? 4, 8. About 10 days in El Salvador, which was amazing. And now I'm here in Honduras. So I've been going to both the mainland and the islands of Honduras, because, you know, Honduras really is known for Roatan. This is quite a touristy island, which for good reason. I mean, like, look at these beaches are some of the best I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, the sun is starting to come out a bit more now, so we can really kind of just see, like, but like the water is, again, when it's like brighter out, like the water is like the brightest blue I've ever seen. Like, it is truly amazing. So I understand why it's touristy. And then there's Utila, which is the little island kind of like nearby, not that nearby, but it's more backpackery. And so Roatan and Util are known for scuba diving. A lot of people come here to dive. It's also a very, Roatan's a very popular stop on cruises. So cruise boats will come here, and you'll just have people here that are just like here for the day. But I think if you're gonna come to Roatan, like come for longer than a day. Like it is so beautiful. So because of that, it is like touristy in like the kind of, you know, older generation kind of tourists are, you know, and that's not a bad thing, but it's just a thing about it. And so I think when a lot of people think about Honduras, like they're thinking of Roatan, you know, but there's so much more. Like Honduras is a huge country actually, and I'm really happy that I've gone to the mainland. I went to Lake Yohoa and I did some kayaking and some hiking there. And then I'm also going to be going to the mainland again to the Pico Bonito Rio Canrajal, I don't really know how to say it, nature reserve. So that'll be fun. Like Honduras does have a lot of nature to it, and like it does have beautiful beach in the island, but there's so much more to it than that. And so I'm really excited and happy that I've been able to see and experiencing both. It is completely different. Like on the mainland of Honduras, nobody speaks any English. It's more of like a Hispanic look to the people. And here on the island, it's more like Caribbean island. And yeah, you basically, like, if you don't know any Spanish at all, like, you are gonna be screwed. Like, I did Spanish school in Guatemala, and I also did some Spanish classes before that at home, and it really helps. Like, even just for simple little things, like, you need to know some Spanish, I think. And that's why I really wanted to learn it. So after spending now 70 days in Central America, and I think I have a total of like 103 days. So I've got like 5 weeks left. But I you know, it's interesting because it's so different from backpacking other regions. So I've backpacked in Europe. I've also backpacked in Southeast Asia. And it is all completely different. So if I were to compare to Southeast Asia, like, as much as I am loving it here in Central America, I do think I prefer Southeast Asia. And really a big reason for that is because of the bang for your buck. Like in Southeast Asia, you can get these gorgeous hotel rooms for a fraction of the price that you would pay anywhere else. You get food, which I'm so sorry, but I like the food. The food there is better. Oh, I hate to say it, but it's true, and it's a lot cheaper. There's more. I don't know. It's also there's a culture shock here, but the culture between like Vietnam versus like Guatemala, like it's two very different things that you can't really compare. But overall, I think the biggest reason that I would choose Southeast Asia is because of the price. It's better. You get more bang for your buck, and it's also a lot easier to travel around. So the shuttles are all very, very, like, there isn't a ton of public transit in Southeast Asia. Whereas here in Central America, sometimes you have to rely on the public transit. Like for me in El Salvador, like there are no tourist shuttles from city to city. Like you either need to book your own private one, which can be expensive, or you get a group together, or you're taking the public transit, which I've done a few times now, and even I did it in Honduras as well, and it was totally fine. It's just like getting around can be a bit more complicated, and you know, in Southeast Asia, if you had like a 10-hour journey, you got a sleeper bus, so you didn't have to like waste your entire day, and you'd wake up and you'd be in the new city. Whereas here, sleeper buses don't really exist as much, and it's not as popular, even though, like, I have a 15-hour journey coming up to get from La Ceiba, Honduras, to Nicaragua, and it is going to be 15 hours, yeah, but it's just a regular minivan, and, yeah. That's another thing too, is just like the travel days in Southeast Asia. Like, although, yeah, they can be super long, and I did take some crazy long buses in Southeast Asia, I usually had a bed on the bus and I could fully just sleep. And like then that way you're not wasting the entire day, like for this 15-hour journey. Like we're leaving at 8 in the morning, but then we arrive at like super late at night, and like that entire day has just been taken up. Whereas if we left in the evening and we arrived in the morning, but I also think too with the border crossings you have to arrive at certain times, right? But still so that's another thing. And then in Europe is just like a complete different like thing, because the travel days there, it's 100% public transit, but everything is connected by train. So you literally can catch a train anywhere. It can be a little bit more difficult if like the train needs a seat reservation, like that's something that you have to pay extra for, like because the thing is there is like the travel days can also be quite expensive, and but they are so easy. Like you just go into the train station and you can see listed on there like how, like what times they're coming at. It's very easy to plan, way less chance of things going wrong. Also in Europe you don't need to worry about the border crossings, I guess, unless you're British, or it depends what passport you have, I guess. But for me, like, you can just go in between all the European countries, or like the ones in the Schengen region, and you can just go and you can cross by train into them, and it's like so simple. So like the travel days there don't even compare. They don't even compare. And then you also have like such great public transit. Like you really don't need to take Ubers or taxis ever, because like if you arrive to your new city, you get to the train station, chances are there'll be a metro, a bus, a tram, something that can take you to your hostel. Like very very easy to figure out. It's a completely different way of travel, and that's why I feel like backpacking in Europe almost doesn't really feel like backpacking at all, because you just have it quite laid out for you, quite easy. Whereas here in Central America and Southeast Asia, South America, you are, it's just so much more different. But I do think backpacking Europe is still nice. And then, I mean, nothing even compares to the price of that. Like, backpacking Europe is so ridiculously expensive. I remember when I was there, the last time I backpacked in Europe was about 2 years ago, almost. And then it's actually my very first backpacking trip ever was in Europe almost 3 years ago. And that was, I mean, that, it's a good place to start. It's just expensive. And it's less backpacker culture as well, because here, you know, you'll run into the people that are like the nomads. You'll run into the people that have been traveling for like a year, people that are doing multi-month trips, just people with all kinds of different stories. Whereas in Europe, I do think you get a lot of like other Europeans that are just traveling within Europe, or people that are just doing shorter trips. And the other thing too is with Europe is you are like, there is like a million routes you could do. Like it's harder to meet people that are going to the same places as you. Whereas I think Central America has been the most backpacker vibes in terms of most people are doing the same thing, same route. I mean, I tend to get off people's route a bit because, like, I need to spend extra days in certain places to film, but I've still ran into the same people over and over again, and that is truly so lovely, because then, like, usually when you arrive to a new city, there's at least one person you know, or, you know, like, it's amazing. And like that does happen in Southeast Asia as well. Europe, really not much at all. Actually though, I will take that back, because in Europe, in Portugal, actually we were going from Sevilla, Spain to Lagos, Portugal. We met a group of us on the bus that were doing the same thing, going from Sevilla to Lagos, Lagos to Lisbon, and then from Lisbon there was one other girl who was also going to Madeira, and we were there on the same days. So it can happen, but really kind of maybe just within the same country. But because Europe is so big and there's so many different routes you can do, you might not run into like all the same people over and over again. In Southeast Asia, you're running into the people. Actually, there was somebody that I traveled with for a few weeks. That was amazing. But then in Central America, it is like you are at the same place at the same time. And yeah, there's a lot of opportunities as well to stay in certain places for longer times. Like again, like a very popular, well, I don't know why I said again because I didn't say this before, but a very popular thing to do is like Spanish school in Lake Atitlán, right? So people are staying there for at least a week, right? And there aren't really, like that's a very popular thing to do. And most, actually, in my experience, most people did more than 1 week. Like I did 3 weeks. And so a lot of people did do 1 week, but see, in a week is right, like you're getting closer to these people that you're meeting. So it really, there's more of a sense of community, right? And I think like that's a very unique thing about Central America is there's just a big community feel to it. And everyone, yeah. I think in terms of overall backpacker vibe, I prefer Central America to any of the other ones. But another big difference is there's not as much partying. So like there's some regions that are more party than others, like Nicaragua. There's a lot of parties there, and I plan to hit all of them. But yeah, like sometimes you could go like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks without going out, and yeah, like the clubbing scene, bar scene is a lot less here, which is maybe a good thing because in Southeast Asia it is very party vibes, which is why I think, okay, here's what I think would be like your perfect kind of start. If you want to test out backpacking, see how you like solo travel, head to Europe maybe for like 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. See how you like it. Pick maybe a couple countries. See it. Yes, it's expensive, but the travel days are simple. You get to see cool stuff. You get to test out hostels. See if you like it. If you like it and you want to backpack more, go to Southeast Asia for a couple of months, or at least a month. Pick Thailand, pick Vietnam. I did Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and Indonesia in 4.5 months. I think it was like 133 days. And some parts I felt rushed, others I didn't. So I do feel like that was a pretty good amount of time. But you could do it in less as well if you wanted, or more. So I think Southeast Asia is the perfect beginner backpacking place because the travel days are quite easy. There's quite a good backpacker vibe there, backpacker community, right? A bit less so than Central America, but it is still very much there. It's cheaper, right? You get a lot of bang for your buck. You get to party a ton, right? So if you're a bit younger, I mean, it's perfect. Even if you're older, but you also don't have to party if you don't want to. But the option is there. So I was there when I was 23, like freshly 23. And so for me, like, that was amazing. Now I'm 24 and I'm like, okay, I wouldn't mind not going on a 5-day bender, like I'm fine with just chilling or having, it's more like the nights out tend to be just having a few drinks at the hostel, playing some games with the people. And I really, really like that as well. It's really awesome. Yeah, I think, yes, Southeast Asia is a great beginner one. And there is some like amazing, amazing things that you get to do in Southeast Asia. Some extremely bucket list things. It has a mix of everything: nature, beach, city, party, chill, food, culture, like history, like buildings, as well as beaches, as well as cities, as well as markets. Like it has everything. Anything, mountains, like lakes. It's amazing. One thing I don't think it has though is volcanoes. That's like Central America. If you want volcanoes, you need to come here. I think Central America is great like maybe intermediate level backpacking because, yeah, things are a bit more complicated. They're a bit more expensive. Things take a bit more thought, a bit more planning sometimes because there's been some bullshit things that you just are like, fuck, I have to really plan around this. And yeah. So Central America, I wouldn't recommend it as your first backpacking trip because it could be a bit complicated. It's definitely doable. And in terms of safety, I think it has it. Like Southeast Asia is going to be probably your most safe. And then Central America, a bit less safe, although I've had no issues since I've been here. So you're also good here, but maybe a little bit less. So gotta be a bit more on guard. So maybe that's why it's not as ideal for your first one. Then I think a bit more kind of like expert level backpacking. We're seeing South America. We're seeing like other parts of Asia like India, or there's a few other ones as well that I can think of. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but yeah, like I would group. I don't know. India might be like expert level. I don't know. I've heard some like quite wacky things about it. Like it can be quite a crazy place. But South America, I would say, is a little more intermediate, a little more pro level backpacking because again, like there's places down there don't speak any English. You're gonna need some Spanish. Things can be a bit more expensive, a bit more complicated. The travel days can be even more complicated. Also, a lot of flying around needed sometimes. Also, like South America has Patagonia. The best way to do Patagonia is like a camper van. So I've heard, you got to be a bit older for that. Yeah. So those are some of like the biggest differences that I've noticed between Central America and Southeast Asia. I have yet to hit South America, hit another continent. I'm hoping to go there like next year or the year after. So we'll see. But I've heard amazing things about it. But I do think it's like you want to go to Central America first because it's giving you a taste, right? And then you jump into South America and it's like even more intense, but amazing. Like that's the thing, all of these regions have such amazing things to do and things to see, and it's truly an amazing experience. So yeah, I've been loving Central America. I really don't have many complaints, except sometimes the travel days are just more annoying than they need to be. I feel like sometimes things are a little expensive for what you're getting, I find. Other than that, I mean, it's fucking amazing. It is amazing. I absolutely love it, and I would recommend anyone to come backpacking here. Maybe if you have a little bit of experience, or like, I think this could be your first backpacking trip if you did it with someone else, maybe as well. But yeah. Also, if you are planning to come here for your first trip, like it is totally fine, and you'll be totally fine. There's tons of other backpackers here that would be willing to help you as well. Honestly, that's the main thing. Like, to get info, I'm always asking other people. Like, everything is just so based on word of mouth. Like, you hear like the best hostels, the best activities, like from other people. So definitely, yeah, be asking people. So my lovelies, with all of that, that is just some of the insight that I have, like comparing the different regions to backpack. If you have any questions about it at all, just let me know. I hope this was like a little bit of unintentional ASMR for you. I do want to do like a proper whispered beach ASMR video for my main channel another time. Today is just not the day, I don't think, or at least not here. I am going somewhere in like a month where I really think I can make like the perfect beach ASMR video. So stay on the lookout for that on my main channel, but we'll see. Hopefully it turns out the way I'm imagining. Anyways, everyone, thank you for watching. Please make sure that you subscribe to this channel for extra content, random stuff, whatever. We do all kinds of things over here. And yeah, okay. Bye, guys.